As we spoke in the previous episode, that we will be back to complete what we had started regarding mastering follow ups in networking. So, this is treat this as the part two from the previous version. And let's once again welcome Robert. How can un
Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be, continue this our conversation.
perfect? How can entrepreneurs build genuine connections rather than just expanding their contacts list?
Very deep, profound question. And the reason why is because unfortunately, many people look at people as a number. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of the connection. And, what I use is what I call my business partners created a whole systematic way of doing it. It's called Engage Pro, ENGAGEPRO.com. And the key starts off by understanding who you're speaking with. And this is a way of, you know, based on wherever you've met them and whatever information with technology today, you're able to look deeper into it. So the first part of that answer is knowing more about who you're speaking to as you start that meeting, because then you can guide the conversation. But the second part of it is, and the biggest mistake that I see people make when they're networking, two things. Number one, they're not branding themselves. They don't have a clear brand of who they are. And second of all, as it relates to this, to the specific question that you asked, is they're more interested in trying to sell the other person something than think about a collaboration. How can I collaborate with the other person? And what I learned from Robert Cialdini in his book, and I highly suggest everybody, you know, either read it or listen to it, and you can get it for free by going to youtube.tv. He's got two books. One is Influencing Others Pre-Persuasion, because ultimately, as we're developing those meaningful relationships, you want to influence them in a way that not necessarily for the sale, but the way that works for me is understanding reciprocity. I show up giving up front. So normally when I start a conversation however I've met them, wherever I've met them, it's like I'm interested in knowing what you do, what you're doing to expand what you do, and then figure out how I can be of value today for you, not today, for you. Now, you might not have the answers right now, but with things like AI, if you're able to extract the right information, you can always get back to them. But you want to position yourself as that trusted advisor by, figuring out what can I do to help that other person, offering to be of benefit for that other person. I think last time we talked about the 3D thinking and getting in the box with them. So if you're going to want to create meaningful relationships, you show up by being of value and serve a servant leader. And that way you've got a higher probability of creating that long-term quality relationship, because that's where the magic happens. It's not numbers, it's quality of relationships. So listen, ask questions, figure out how I can be of value to the other person, and show up by giving up front. And if you do that, you're going to differentiate yourself from 99% of the people in the marketplace, because all they're doing is trying to sell the other person. And people don't want to be sold. and until they know who you really are, the chances of them buying from you or having that meaningful long-term relationship is minimal. Hopefully that answers your question.
Totally, and I would like to summarize this for the audience. One, build and enhance your personal brand. Know how to position yourself. And the other one is that see how you can bring meaningful value to other people because people don't like simply being sold services. People always want to know who you really are and what is your why. What's your why statement?
Yeah. And let me go a little deeper as it relates to that whole thing. We- Last time we did our conversation, we talked about me getting into personal growth and development. There's many things like Jim Rohn, take charge for your life. You can guide people to information as you're getting to know them. So that's one way of sharing a resource on something that you found to be beneficial for yourself. And that's part of the reason why you want to continually improve your skills. And so once you come across, a body of work, it doesn't have to be your own work. Yes, you can create your own work using AI, and that's a whole other piece. But the more that you can guide people to information that will help them as it relates to what they're doing. And you've got like YouTube, you can find almost all of this by just going to Google, YouTube, whatever, and you can get it for free. And you can just guide them to it and then check back and see what, you know, there's an old saying, the fortune is in the follow up or follow through. You want to stay connected to the person. So hopefully that gives a little bit another way to show of being of service.
Stay connected and build quality connections. Catch up with your quality people once in a month to maintain that relation in the long run.
Yeah, and you can do it through a simple email. I was thinking of you, and you can have different lists of people. I was thinking about you. I came across this article, thought it might be of value to you. It
That
doesn't mean you're calling on the phone all the time.
I would suggest, make an Excel sheet and write the names and details of these people you consider as quality. Otherwise, it's super easy to forget. In the pursuit of networking with new like-minded people.
Yes.
In your experience, what common mistakes do people make when following up? How to avoid them?
Well, the easiest way to avoid them is recognize what they are. If you're looking to develop a meaningful relationship, the other word relationship is relate. You want to ask questions, listen, do your exploration, understand what's going on in that other person's world and figure out how you can be of value to them. So if you go into that communication with the main thought of just trying to sell them, chances are, and it goes back to what I said beforehand, people don't people don't like to be sold. They love to buy if they understand how it's going to benefit them. So, part of the aspect of selling, no matter what we're selling, and the biggest thing we're selling is the fact that we can help them improve whatever they're doing. And you've got to be able to connect the dots as it relates to what's going on in their world. So the mistakes they make is they jump into a sale before they've done the exploration. They're not listening. People are looking for authentic relationships today. So, um, ask questions, listen, figure out how you can be of value or service to the other person. And I always tell people, and my I give the analogy of follow-up is sort of like dating. It's like, why go on a date to see if you want a second date? My first date is to show up to be of value. Then the second date, I can go more into what does collaborations look like? Because I've already demonstrated that I was of value one way or the other. So hopefully that is relevant as it relates to, the question you ask, is there anything else that you,
Totally.
yeah,
I think you were spot on. Figure out how you can add value to others, and also whenever you come across something, then definitely do remember them, send a short message, and share that, I read this article or I came across someone you could potentially collaborate with. Because what you give will come back. How, when, you never know. Any
yep.
final thoughts, Robert?
Well, I will send you a list. I created a list of how to create meaningful relationships, which I'll send
Super.
you in an email. But
Yes, or you can or you can WhatsApp them to me, and I'll put it down in the description.
sure. Um, yeah, no, I will probably email them.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
sounds
This
good.
conversation has been one of the turning points for me and for the audience. So, on behalf of the audience, thank you.
Yeah. What I would say is final thoughts.
Yes.
Wherever you are as it relates to your ability to network, it's a learned art. One book that you can read, highly recommend. You can probably go to ChatGPT and get the summation, but is by Harvey McKay, How to Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty, or Bob Berg, Endless Referrals.
Can you say that again? The name of the
Sure.
book?
It's Harvey McKay is
Okay.
an author, and it's Dig Your Well
Dig your
Before
well.
You're Thirsty.
Okay.
And
Wow.
the other one is by Bob Berg, Endless Referrals. You know,
Endless referrals.
the point is, it's like if you look at networking as an art and you're going to create this picture, the more that you do it with the being conscious and knowing that you're going to continually get better. So wherever you're at, just realize, and I'm going to, that you're going to continually improve your networking skills, because the better you get, the more effective you'll be.
Yes.
And ultimately, your net worth is in direct relationship to the value of your network, the key of developing those meaningful relationships. And that's
Correct.
the key of it. So I will send something in an email to you and we'll go from there.
Sure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I appreciate the time together.
Thank you.